Hey again, everybody. It's Eric, and we are going to go ahead and do a casual spoiler talk about Kingdom Hearts 3 because I couldn't do that in my review because I just didn't have the heart to. I just wanted to get to the main points of the things that disappointed me about the game, but let's get into the details, the nitty-gritty about the shit that pisses me off about this title, which is the ending and all of the contrivances that surround it. Alright, so we're going to start with the red herring that I mentioned in my review, which you can see up here. So, the red herring is Vexen, Evan, who up to this point has been portrayed as an amoral scientist who doesn't give a fuck about anything. He just does what he wants. He wants to do his research, everybody. And so this heel turn of his happens because he meets back up with Ansem the Wise, who gets rescued from Ansem Seeker of Darkness in Twilight Town by Hayner Pensanolet. Hayner Pensanolet, 3 15-year-old kids, juke out a guy whose final boss form was a fucking heartless battleship abomination. They juke him out, and Olette runs off with Ansem the Wise, and they run in to Vexen. And Vexen is straight up like, Master, I've been with them because I wanted to meet you, or some such garbage. And he's like, I want to be forgiven. And this is done so that they can have a replica body for Roxas, I think, or somebody. I think it's Naminé, actually, in the end. I'll get to that when I get there. I'm moving through everything as it happened in the game. So he's like, I want to be forgiven. And at this point, you've been through all of the Disney worlds, and shit starts happening. Again, like I mentioned in my review, I thought this was going to be the midway point. At this point, I was like, give me a fucking Keyblade. Give me a plot Keyblade, Kingdom Hearts. I want a plot Keyblade. Give me Oathkeeper. Give me Oblivion. Give me something. So you get Master Ericus's Keyblade. You find it on Destiny Islands, because you just go there. The game forces you to Destiny Islands when you're done with all the Disney worlds. And Sora uses this to open up a pathway to the Realm of Darkness so he can save Riku and Mickey from Dark Aqua. So you fight Dark Aqua, you win, of course. Aqua's heart is released from the darkness. She almost falls back in, but Sora's like, no! Main character power is to save you! So he saves Aqua. Aqua, by the way, was using Master Ericus's Keyblade in the fight. So Aqua and Sora go to Castle Oblivion to wake up Ventus. She turns it back into the Land of Departure, and so they go to where Ventus is sleeping in the main chamber, and Vanitas pops up, and he's like, my brother. I want to have my grand reunion with my brother. Feels very, very Metal Gear Solid, actually, in a way. So, anyway, at this part, you fight Vanitas with Aqua, and you beat him, but Aqua, he keeps doing the thing, and he threatens Aqua, and he almost kills Aqua, but Ventus wakes up because Sora's heart resonates with the moment, because Ventus's heart is in Sora. And so Ventus wakes up, he tells Vanitas to fuck off, and Vanitas fucks off. So at this point, everybody kind of has like their little respite before the final battle. Sora and Kairi have a little touching moment on their tree. Riku's looking... Riku, being the third wheel of the fucking century, is just standing on the beach like, yeah, I wish I had a girlfriend. Don't worry, Riku, you'll have your time. You'll have your time, buddy. So, at this point, everybody goes to the Keyblade Graveyard. Sora, Donald, Goofy, Mickey, Riku, Kairi, Axel, Aqua, and Ventus. They go to the Land of Departure, or Keyblade Graveyard, and you have that big fight that I talked about where you need to deplete the enemy bar. It's basically this game's 1,000 Heartless Battle, but it can be so much more than 1,000, because like I said, you cannot finish this fight unless you do the Magic Mountain amusement thingy, which I thought was fucking terrible. Anyway, after this, you get that part in the cutscene. You get that part from the trailer where Riku's cleaving the darkness with his Keyblade. Anyway, so what happens is, I think it's Vanitas, or no, it's Terra Xehanort comes in and owns the fuck out of Ventus. And Donald comes up and uses Exaflare. Oh, no, wait. I think it... Or is it Ansem Seeker of Darkness? It's one of those motherfuckers. And they get fucking Exaflare, or they get Zetaflared by Donald, and Donald passes the fuck out. So Donald's OTC, Ventus is OTC, and OTC, by the way, out of commission. So at this point, Sora, everybody gets murdered, by the by, and Sora just has this massive conflict of self. He's like, no, what am I going to do? My friends are my power. Without them, I'm nothing. And Riku's like, this is the part from the trailer. Riku's like, Sora, you don't believe that. And then him and Sora get killed. But Sora's heart is so goddamn resilient that you are in the in-between afterlife purgatory zone. And that little fucking cat thingy from the dumbass mobile game comes in. And he's like, oh man, you're really resilient. You can probably bring yourself back if you collect the pieces of yourself. And you go through this really cool abstract level where you literally just run into Soras that are doing repetitive actions. You collect, I think it's like 200 of them. And then boom, you're back. And you start falling down a bottomless pit and you see like different portals to the Disney worlds that you've been to. And you fight off a Grim Reaper Heartless a number of times to save your friends' hearts. And this is this game's idea of going back to the Disney worlds twice. And when you're on your way back out, you run into Kairi because you don't get Kairi back in the normal way. So you run into Kairi, you get out, Sora reverses time, and stops whoever the fuck from owning Ventus. And you get... This is the thing, this is the part in the review where I mentioned that they ape from Nier Automata's ending E. Nomura decides that every Keyblade in the Keyblade Graveyard is representative of people who have played the mobile game. And so you get a big list of the screen names from people that have played the mobile game, and you just mash Y. And then you have to move around in the second little part of this blurb. And this moment could have been the halfway point where Sora needs to find his own power of himself by going back through the Disney world and saving his friends' hearts that have been trapped there by Organization 13. That could have been it. That could have been the way. Like, to me, that would have been a lot better. It would have given the game it would have given me a reason to go back to the Disney world and discover some of the extra content that they add in after you beat them, because this game gives you no actual reason to go back to these Disney worlds unless you want to do the collectathon, which I hate to break it to people, I'm almost 25 years old. I have no more fucking time for collectathons in my life. I really, really, truly do not. I am trying to play games to have fun. I'm not playing games to get all the things or to get all the achievements. I just want to experience a good story and play a good game. And that's what I wanted, and I didn't get that. So, once this shitty part, rip-off from Nier Automata is done, Xehanort, Master Xehanort, creates a labyrinth. And this is where the contrivances really kick into high gear. So, by the way, Riku has a connection with his replica self. I almost said replicant. Fun fact, actually, I didn't mention this in my review. The person who gave the terrible performance for Master Xehanort to replace Leonard Nimoy is actually Rutger Hauer, one of my favorite actors of all time, the guy who's responsible for Tears in Rain, one of the greatest monologues in film history, and he didn't do a good job. I love you, Rutger, and you're forgiven because of your role as Batty. But damn, dude, you did a bad job. What was up with the Spanish accent? I know that you have Nimoy's gravel if you want to. You're old. Man, I sound like an asshole. Anyway, so this is where you go and you fight the three... So during these fights, you have two of your allies fighting against three members of Organization 13 each. So you do this 3 times. Once with Kairi and Axel, once with Mickey and Riku, and once with Terra and Aqua. So you do this stuff, and each time that you beat somebody in the group of 3, they have their own cutscene where they fade away, and for the most part, they talk about how like they're feeling something again for the first time in forever, and they're very happy to be able to be recompleted, and they can't wait to see Sora when they're recompleted. My personal favorite out of this one is Card Guy. Fuck, I'm forgetting his name. Oh god damn it. Card Guy, who I think is one of the cooler dudes. He does this. He has a nice little thing where he's like, I want to play a game with you again, Sora. I can't wait. I gotta find out his name. It's gonna drive me insane. It's gonna drive me absolutely insane. Luxord! That's his name. That guy. Luxord. Luxord's cool. It's also worth mentioning that Evan comes up to Demyx of all people, somebody who he's barely interacted with, to help him in his heel turn, and Demyx is like, fuck yeah, I don't want to be the bench, I want to be, like, part of the main cast. He basically just delivers a replicant body to the people who are hanging out in the computer lab of Radiant Garden, that somebody being Yenzo, whose side change is unexplained. I guess he's remorseful because he got trickety tricked when he was a kid. He's a little kitty Roo. Anyway, back to point. So everybody has their moment, with the exception of Zigbar, who is like, I'm gonna say fuck you, and then jump off of the top of the wall, which to me was kind of tasteless. I thought that was kind of bad. He's like, I'm not gonna fade away and recomplete, I'm gonna fucking kill myself. Blah! Edgy. So when you're fighting with Kairi and Axel, Shion is back, by the way, in case it wasn't obvious. Shion is one of the members of the True Organization 13. Why? I don't know. Why is she back? Because time travel and replicas. Obviously. So Axel and Shion have a moment, and then this moment causes a resonance between Sora and Roxas, and Roxas comes back. He literally bamps out of the fucking sky to save everybody who's present for this little chunk. And that's that. I think that the replica body that he uses is the one of Replica Riku, because actual Replica Riku that was pulled out of the past is reconnected with the Replica Riku that's inside of Riku's heart, and they kind of fade away, and they have an extra replica body for Roxas to use, I think. So anyway, that's that. And also, when you're fighting with Ventus and Aqua, you save Terra. Terra gets unnorted. And so he's back in the fold of the good guys. And when I said that, like I said in my review, this is a Kishimoto, where everybody gets to be a good guy at the end. So after this, you go fight the three main offshoots of Xehanort: young Xehanort, Ansem, and Xemnas. And it was kind of funny, because again, they do the same thing, where you're fighting all three of them at the same time, and I actually lost once, because I got comboed hard as shit. Like, Ansem and Xemnas have this one dope combo that's so hard to get past, because Ansem sets up the combo, and then Xemnas just obliterates you. It's actually, if the ludonarrative dissonance wasn't so goddamn strong, then it would have been better. So anyway, I beat young Xehanort first, and he has this really ominous line. Like, he gets cut off halfway, or whatever. He doesn't finish it. But he seems like such an evil dick, and he's like, I'm gonna go live the rest of my life now. Ha 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 ha, my job here's done. And as he's going back in time, he says some stuff, and Sora doesn't hear it. He don't hear the end of it. And then I fought Ansem and Xemnas, and both of them in a strong juxtaposition to in terms in comparison to young Xehanort, they feel remorse. They feel sad about what they've done. Xemnas, in particular, is like, ironic that the first thing that I feel in years is sorrow. Kind of undermines the end of Kingdom Hearts 2, in my opinion. So now, so before this, Master Xehanort has Kairi, and he acts as Kairi. He has all of these... He has multiple versions of his Keyblade surrounding him, and he's like, once I have all 13 keys, I can open up the path to Kingdom Hearts with the Keyblade. So yeah, he kills Kairi. And I was actually really happy that they killed somebody. And, because that's what motivates Sora. Master Xehanort, after the fight with the three guys, gets the final Keyblades that he needs to make the Keyblade, because it's the clashes of light between the 13 darknesses make these Keyblades. I don't know when that became a thing. Probably in one of those games I didn't play. Anyway, he takes over Kingdom Hearts, and Sora, Donald, and Goofy go to the world that's the setting of the mobile game, and they fight him. You fight him on land, and then you fight him in the ocean, and then you fight him in the air. And I think you fight him again on land. And then the bullshit really comes in, where everybody bamfs in, where Xehanort's having his final monologue, and the piece of Ericus's heart that he put inside of Terra comes out to be like, hey buddy, it's time to go, it's been fun, you know, our chess game is over, or whatever the fuck, and they have a cutaway where the two of them are being buddy-buddy when they're younger. And it makes you, in this scene where they cut back to them being younger, playing chess, and and Ericus is like, oh, I just heard about this new game. Ooh, Kingdom Hearts 4, everybody. By the way, everybody's all happy. Kairi's still super dead. So it makes you wonder, this scene makes you wonder why Xehanort ended up being a dick. And you can just go ahead, I'm just going to go ahead and say alternate timeline tomfoolery. That's why this happens. But yeah, Xehanort in the end gets his mini redemption and willingly dies with his friend Ericus. And they got Mark Hamill to say a couple of lines. I bet he was like, fuck, you guys can't convince me to come back for more of this. So anyway, then Sora's like, my entire journey started because I was looking for Kairi. I'm gonna go look for her. And everybody's telling Sora, as he's heard before, no Sora, you can't use the power of waking like this. That's super dangerous. Sora does it anyway, because he's got fucking main character powers. So Sora, he goes and he does that. So at this point, the credits are starting up. They have a softer version of that god-awful Hikaru song that they made for this, not featuring production of Skrillex this time, thank God, but it's still not a good song. I refuse to like that song. Alright, because Simple and Clean was dope. It was a fucking banger. The remix that they used for Kingdom Hearts 1 was a total banger. And then Sanctuary, such a banger. And this, Let Me Face My Fears, or whatever it's called, ugh, not good. I could do a track review on that. Anyway, so let's go through what happens after this. So Mickey, Donald, Goofy, Yen-Sid go back to Disney Castle, and they say hi. And then you see everybody in the computer lab at Radiant Garden, and they use the replica body to bring Naminé back. How they do this without Kairi, who is in possession of Naminé's heart, is beyond me. But then Riku's like, hey girl, I won't be your boyfriend. He just comes in with the gummy ship, and he's like, hey Naminé. He doesn't actually say anything, he's just like, hey. Lifts out his hand and they go. You see Axel and Roxas on the top of the Twilight Town clock tower, and Axel's wearing some casual clothes, Roxas is back in his casual clothes. Xion comes in wearing this absolutely adorable black vest with a white skirt and some black leather boots. It's cute. It's adorable. It actually makes her presence in this game something that I appreciate just because of that. And Isa comes in with also wearing casual clothes, and I think he's the one that has the ice cream. And they have their little moment on top of the clock tower. And then you see Terra, Aqua, and Ventus at the land of departure, and Ventus gives a hug to that stupid little cat thingy. And then everybody's playing on Destiny Islands, people tossing around Axel's frisbee, and Donald makes a sand statue of himself, and then he gets knocked over. And then you see Sora and Kairi sitting on the Palpu tree, Oh, by the way, before they go to the final fight, Sora and Kairi finally share the Paopu fruit, and they do the thing where it's like they offer it to each other, and the other eats the one that they're passing in front of them. You know, the scene from the cave in the cave, and then so Kairi's back. Kairi is back, so that's not going to be the plot of Kingdom Hearts 4. And Sora disappears because he's abused the power of waking, so he vanishes. And Kairi's sad. Kairi's very sad over this. So now we're going to go talk about the post-credits scene and the secret ending. One then the other. So the post-credits scene has the 4 of the 5 original Keyblade Master people. The people with the masks from the short film thingamajig, the Unchained Key stuff. Back cover. And Lucio, obviously, in the middle of all of it with his mystical, magical black box of wonderment. And the only one who's not present is the pink cat girl, obviously, because her mission was different. And Lucio's like, she already completed her mission, it's fine. And the Puma guy, he's like, you look different, or somebody says that Lucio looks different, and Lucio takes off his hood, and it's motherfucking Zigbar. Zigbar has Master Ansem's Keyblade, and oh my god, this is so contrived. He's like, oh, I've had a bunch of different bodies, you know? And oh, it's so bad. Why did you have to do this, Nomura? I get that Zigbar is the giant asshole of this game series, but fuck, oh my god, why did you have to do that? It was... Alright, so that's going to be the setup for the next game. Now, for the secret ending, you see Sora wake up in what looks like Shibuya Square of the real fucking world, and they have like some flashes, and Riku is near the Diet Building of Japan. If you don't know what the Diet Building is, it's the one where it's the thick tower that comes up, and then it splits off into 2 separate towers. It's where the Japanese government meets. And they have some more flashes, and you see Yozora, the character from the fake game Verum Rex, that's a part of the Toy Box world. It's the thing that Yozora is the character that gives Sora permanence in that world, I guess. Like Rex mistakes him for Yozora. So Yozora's there. It is very much so Yozora. And then you see a dude in Organization 13 garb in front of a full moon. It makes a heart. And there's that. I have no idea if this is going to be Kingdom Hearts 4 or this is going to be DLC. I'm leaning more toward this being the DLC that Nomura said that they were going to be making for the game. I'll play it. It's not going to make the game's narrative any better. It's not going to make anything okay. But yeah, that's the big ball of contrivances that is the end of this game. It's a microcosm of bad writing in so many different ways. And I mean, there's the ludonarrative dissonance when you're fighting the 3 Organization 13 members in, the separate sections, where they all have like their own individual cutscenes. It's so bad because I guess the remaining members that you need to fight for these encounters are just kind of waiting for you to come on back, and then you fight them again. But these moments where the people reconnect, or I guess they reconnect or whatever. They happen independent of one another. So it's a massive example. It's probably one of the best examples of developer-created ludonarrative dissonance. This isn't like Fable, where you bamf away from the final decision. This isn't like Fallout 4, where you don't actually care about Sean, but your character cares about Sean. It's the developers making a whoopsie and not really considering how this plays into the narrative and how it feels in relation to the gameplay. Anyway, that's it for my thoughts on Kingdom Hearts. I've just felt really strongly about this game and how it ended, and I needed to get it out, but I couldn't bring myself to put a bunch of spoilers into my review. Yeah. It's not good. And it really shows that Nomura is not a good director. As if the disaster that was this game's development, along with the disaster that was Final Fantasy Versus 13, then becoming Final Fantasy 15, that shows that Nomura is not a good director. And this game really shows that Nomura is not a good writer. As if all of the spin-off games overly complicating this story of a dude who simply wants to take over the fucking world, because that's more or less what Xehanort wants to do. He just wants to take over the goddamn world. You can put in all this extra bullshit about balancing light and darkness, but at the end of the day, all that old man wanted to do was world dominance. It shows that Nomura is only good as a character designer, and that Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 were lightning striking not once but twice, and that normally doesn't happen, so I understand why Square Enix put a lot of faith in him, but Nomura has lost my faith, at least. And I honestly, after this, don't really care much about what happens to Kingdom Hearts moving forward. This game just took it out of me. Anyway, I hope that you guys have a great rest of the day. At least here over on the East Coast, things are starting to clear up. It's a little bit nicer outside. I think I might go for a walk and do a drawing. Anyway, love, love, love. Great day. Kingdom Hearts.